Okay, today we're going to be replacing a clutch on a 2004 Volkswagen Jetta with the BEW engine. So it's a TDI with a 5-speed. We're going to be putting a clutch kit. This is a South Bend clutch, which is stage 2 endurance, which is like you can get a stage 2 I think daily, but this is endurance, so it's a little bit more heavy duty. So this is the part number that they use. And that's what it looks inside. I've never installed a South Bend clutch before. All the clutch that I've installed, it was either the Sachs or the Vallejo with the flywheel, a single mass flywheel. This one comes with the single mass flywheel, comes with the release bearing, and it comes with the hardware and the pilot for alignment of the clutch. I'm going to be replacing the rear main seal and also the input shaft seal on the transmission. And I'm going to change I'm going to change the oil on the transmission. So this car right now has 224,000 kilometers. Right now it has a tune, a KERMA TDI tune, and the clutch is slipping. So it's got over 200,000 kilometers on the clutch, and it's got too much torque for that clutch. So this is why we're replacing the clutch. And so I've used a pressure wash to clean the underside of the car. There's no necessary to work in dirt. And also it cleans all the bolt heads for the CV joints. It makes it much easier. So everything is clean. So I'm going to be removing that transmission, and then I'm going to drain the oil from this drain hole. And looks like it's got a new oil pan, I guess. It's probably had a broken oil pan. The oil pan doesn't look very old. So that's about it for now. So I'm going to be removing this transmission, and we'll see how this clutch kit works on this car. I don't know if the clutch feel is going to be similar to a stock, or the clutch pedal effort on the clutch pedal will be very hard. So I'll let you guys know what's the feeling on the clutch. Okay, so now I have the transmission removed, as you can see on the floor, and the flywheel has been removed. You can see a little bit of hot spot, but not bad. I mean, the clutch is in very good shape. Hasn't been slipping quite a bit, I guess, but it was slipping. And as far as the wear, though, you can see here that it's pretty close from the rivet. So the clutch was, normal wear, so it didn't have much clamping force. So as you can see, the rivet is very close from the surface. So it was, with a stock tune, it would have, survived. As you can see, I have the flywheel removed. As you can see, it's a little bit, well, this water because I used the pressure wash, but it's a little bit damp. So we're gonna put the rear main seal on it, and also on the transmission side, we're gonna put a new release bearing here, and also a new seal. And we're gonna lube the shaft. As you can notice, the shaft, how kind of rusty color it is, very dry. I'm gonna put some lubricant on the splines, and just to make sure that it doesn't wear out the splines. And also, as far as like clutch engagement, it's very important to have this lubed up. And another point, I guess, is to make sure the shifter bearing here is in good shape. In this case, this one is okay, but sometimes you need a seal and a bearing here. Sometimes it moves quite a bit, but this one is very nice. And then again, I already drained the oil. So yeah, so that's step number 2. I have a locking tool here that I bought not long ago, and it's to secure the crank, the flywheel actually, when you want to torque it. So it works very good. So okay, so anyway, that's gonna be that, and then I'll probably put another video once everything is back in running order. Okay, so now I've unbolted the pressure plate from the flywheel, and on this clutch here, it's like a hybrid because see this friction surface on the flywheel itself is like this, and on the other side is like more of a normal, but it's you can tell that it's a little bit different. But and it has pretty large springs in the center. So that's what it looks like this. The flywheel is nothing very special. It's just a single mass flywheel. And the centerpiece is made by Sachs. Okay, so that's gearbox side. It goes like this. And the pressure plate itself, I would assume they probably put larger springs. You can tell that, you know, it's probably some shims or something, but anyway, there's probably something that's been done on the pressure plate itself. And for now, I've put a new rear main seal. Everything is torqued, everything is cleaned. So I got to put the flywheel back on, torqued and everything with Loctite. And that's what it is. This is the old rear main seal. So that's going to be the clutch is going to be installing. Okay, so I have the clutch installed. What I did here is I marked before, because the clutch came already bolted together. So just to make sure I put the clutch at the same time. I don't know if it was a balanced unit or not. And so I put a little paint here, a little paint there. So I knew I was putting it at the same spot. And also I put some a little paint here where the timing mark is, so it's just easier to see. So, and also the splines has been lubed. You gotta watch you don't put too much lube on here. And I'm gonna do the same on the transmission. Alright, so this is the transmission. So I put some engine shampoo and I pressure washed it to clean all the dust. So it's all clean. So I'm going to be putting some lubricant on the sleeve here. First I'm going to change the seal. So there's a seal here on the output shaft. And I'm going to lubricate the sleeve and also the spline. And also here the pivot. I'm going to lubricate the pivot. And also on the fork also. I'm going to put some lube here. Alright. So that's about it. Okay, now I have installed the clutch. The clutch is broken in a little bit, not completely. And my first impression is very nice. The clutch pressure, if you can see, the clutch pressure is, it's not very strong, you know, like, I mean, compared to a stock clutch. I would say maybe, I don't know, maybe 10%, 15% stronger than stock as far as the clutch feel. And also when you have in first gear, let's say, and you just let the clutch go, okay, just on the idle, okay, so it doesn't grab or nothing, even in reverse. See, right now I have in reverse gear, so I'm just dropping the clutch a little bit. Okay, so I mean, there's not much difference between this and a stock clutch. I mean, it's very drivable. It would not be a pain to drive this clutch in traffic. And so this is the street clutch stage 2 endurance. So I think it is rated at 350 pounds of torque. And this clutch comes from KERMA TDI. If you go on their site, there's more information on it. So I'm gonna test drive it and see how it goes. And also this car is 2004 with the 100 horsepower engine from the factory, but it's tuned, it's a KERMA TDI tune. And see, I have I don't know why I have selected the 3 of them there, but anyway, the top one and the bottom one is where it says actual, and here it's coolant temperature on the top. But we'll see what kind of turbo pressure that it runs. It will be higher than stock. I think the specified will be a little bit lower than what the car is actually pushing. There is no boost gauge in this car. So I'll try to drive with the camera and shifting at the same time. Okay, so that's second gear. I'm gonna try it in third gear. Alright, so right now I'm at 2000 RPM. I'm gonna floor it and you'll see what kind of boost that it something. Now I'm in fourth, full throttle, 2264. So yeah, it's fairly strong. I'm gonna try it again in third gear at 2000 RPM. We'll see what kind of torque and how it feels. So right now it's at 2000 RPM. You'll look at the speedometer. This is in kilometers. Full throttle. Shift 110. So that's pretty quick. I mean, for a stock car, you know, you still get good fuel economy. The exhaust system is larger than stock on this car, but the rest, air filter and all that stuff, everything is stock, injector stock, turbo stock, everything. The only thing I noticed also with this clutch, this is a single mass flywheel. So in neutral, you'll hear the fifth gear in the transmission rattle a little bit. When you press the clutch, the sound's gonna go away. This is totally normal. That's how it is on this clutch. I've installed another brand of clutch. It was a Sachs, I think, clutch kit. They call it a silent one. It's a single mass clutch, but also it's a clutch with much larger spring on the hub, on the clutch disc, and it's much more quiet, if you will, on neutral. But it doesn't seem to hold the torque as much as the older style. It looks like they changed something, and you know, I put this on a car that is tuned and it has a tendency to slip a little bit. So I think this is the clutch we're probably going to be installing on most of the car that is performance oriented. And so that's pretty much that. So right now I'm in fourth gear, full throttle. See, there's lots of torque. It doesn't slip right now, so that's perfect. And also I just wanted to show, you know, how the clutch really works very good. Like right now the car is idling, so right now it's idling and the car's moving. And if I start the vehicle and without touching the gas, you know, so, you know, you could see the steering is bouncing a bit. That's normal. I'm not even pressing the gas. You know, on a diesel you can do that. Okay, so you know, it's very easy on the reverse. Sometime on reverse gear, if you get a clutch that is very grabby, it's gonna shudder. Right now it's in reverse without putting any gas, so it runs. It's very nice clutch. It's not broken in yet, but if it continues to work like that, I'm very impressed. I really like the way that this clutch works. So I'm gonna try it in second gear, full throttle, just to see. Yeah, so it doesn't slip at all. So I mean, as you know, it's 350 pounds of torque. So I mean, this engine will never produce this in this configuration, but it's nice to know that you have, you know, some spare if later on, if you want to do some more modification on the car, maybe a larger turbo and stuff like that, or injectors. So that's good. So that works very good. So I'm gonna check the car again, make sure everything is okay, and sign it off. Okay, I'm gonna do a 0 to 100. But I'm just gonna do like a rolling start because I don't want to abuse the clutch. Plus I'm limited with traction, so I know. So now that's 100. All right, so I don't know how many seconds that it took, but obviously I just rolled it in first gear and it, you know, the tires spun. And but it's pretty quick, you know, compared to stock. I don't know how many seconds, you know, obviously with better tires and in summer conditions, you know, the asphalt is cold, but it just give you an idea because I didn't want to drop the clutch in first gear. You know, it's a brand new clutch, but it seems to hold the torque very good. So so I'm very pleased with that clutch. It's probably not going to be the last one we're going to put on there. So that's it. So I'm going to be doing a fifth gear pull. Right now I have it in fifth gear. I'm at 2000 RPM, and we'll see how it's gonna accelerate. Full throttle right now. See the speed, that's in 5th gear. So it gives you an idea, you know, it's pretty quick. You know, it runs very good. Just a stock, you know, just a stock engine.